Hi guys, so I'm back again. It's been a terrible month. It's been very busy, but I'm back. Got time for a few new videos, so this is going to be the first one. So I've been thinking about what kind of video I wanted to make, and I decided to go for something a little bit controversial, and that is the so-called Chinese whetstones. And to clarify, I mean the cheap, generic, double-sided stones that you get from eBay, from AliExpress or Alibaba or wherever you get them. They usually cost around 10 to 20 bucks, and they kind of look like this. So this is an old one though. I only have old ones, yeah. So I decided to have a closer look at them with you guys, talk a little bit why you should get them or why you shouldn't get them, and what's good with them and what's not, and what to expect if you decide to buy them. Because let's admit it, there's a huge price difference on a stone like this and a Japanese stone. And a natural stone as well. So I can see the appeal of going for the cheaper option, and I did so myself as well. So yeah, let's get into it. The knife I will be working with is the good old Kiritsuka Bunka blue #2 steel. If you've been to my channel before, you have seen this at least 20 times. But I find it helpful to stick with the same kind of steel when I'm working, when I'm trying to compare or anything like that. So yeah, let's get into it. So the Chinese stones, they are, as I said, they are cheap. They are very light. They are very porous, and they are soaking stones. So I got two stones soaking here, and I just wanted to let you hear how porous these stones are. So this one I'm going to put down into the water now. It's dry, and if you just listen, this one wasn't too bad actually, but it's bubbling like crazy down here now. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah. So yeah, some of these come unbranded. Some of these stones I actually got the offer myself. You can have the factory or factories. You can have them make stones and put your logo on them. Like say these guys. This is Taidia, which is a Chinese supplier. So that's where I got that one. The other ones I actually do not know. I think I got them off eBay, and they are actually one of the first stones I got. So that's where I started. So the Chinese stones, they get a lot of hate, and I always was told that I should get some proper stones, not that Chinese crap. And yes and no. I didn't have too much money, so I went for the cheaper option. And don't get me wrong, this might seem like a given case that I'm shitting on these stones now and I'm going to make a video about it, but that's not the case. I actually do mean that you can get some good results of these stones, but you have to take them for what they are. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try and show you guys now. So they are a little bit short, so you can see my usual stone holder is actually just a couple of millimeters too long, but we'll work with it nonetheless. So we're starting on the 240 grit side, and try to work up a burr. Just So feels coarse as you would expect. On 240 grits. The speed seems okay. As for my sharpening speed and overall, I'm being a little bit careful on these Chinese stones because they are soft. So there is a chance when you pull the knife towards you, or when you go edge leading though, you can catch the stone quite easily. So a little bit of unevenness in the stone. Feels coarser down here than in the middle here. That could be because it's loading up, or because I have spent some time on the middle of the stone before and it needs some work. But yeah. Yeah, and there we are. That's this side. Let's go over to the other side. Feels a little bit dead. Not too much feedback. It kind of feels like it's gliding over the stone at this point. But I think I got the angle just right. So we are about on the money as far as the edge is concerned. So you can actually see that when I push down onto the stone, the water comes out. It's what you want though. It acts kind of like a sponge. So that's the 240 grit side. I'm just going to use my, this is an Atoma diamond plate. I'm just going to give it a few laps just to see if it's even or if it's need of resurfacing. It doesn't look too bad. So the reason I can do it like this is because this stone has been loading up with steel. What you also can do if you wanted to flatten your stone is to go with a pencil, create a grid like that. Hope you can see it. And just give it a few, and you would see where the pattern disappears first. That's the tall spots, and you would work down to the low spots and give it another test. But you can see that got a little bit here, but pretty even. So that's not too bad at all. So over to the 1000 grit stone, or the 1000 grit side. And let's start to work. This is a new stone, by the way. So you can see it's removing quite a bit of metal. So it's fast. Oh, sorry about that. get a bit into it. And we are on the money already. I hope the sound comes through, because you can definitely hear that these stones are, I would like to call them a little bit dead. It's like the knife is skating a little bit on the surface, but it still doesn't feel like it. It's hard. It's kind of weird to. It's a good cross between being. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's a soft stone, but it's a little bit dead. The feedback is not as good as some other stones that I've showcased before. You can't compare it to, say, a Chosera. Let's just say that. So we are actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We are actually done. We actually yeah, we are done on the 1000 grit side. I'm gonna do the same thing here though. It is a new stone, so I wouldn't expect it to be very uneven, but it looks decent. So you see the logo is gone. So that was this first. That was the first sharpening for this stone. So I don't know why I haven't used it before. I have quite a lot of them. So this is the same brand, and as you can see, this is 3000 grit, 8000 grit, 3000 grit, 8000 grit. The 8000 grits on both are white. The 3000 grits are different colors. And I see this on most of the Chinese stones I have, or that I get and that I see. They are identical in size. The colors, however, are all over the place, and it's never just one color. But more often than not, you have the 3000 grit being either brown or green. 8000 grit are usually white, but I've seen other examples as well. I'm going to say a little bit more about that in a little bit. But let's go over to the 3000 grit side. And so now we are starting to get some feedback. This actually feels really, really good. And that's partly because I love soft stones, but it's just something about the feedback and the speed of a really soft stone. The thing about soft stones is that they are releasing a lot of abrasive compound when you work on them, so you have fresh grit most of the time. Like on a harder stone, you wear the grit down and you have to resurface it, or you just work a little bit at it to get fresh grit to the top. But with a soft stone, you'll have fresh grit all the time, although you'll be wearing the stone down faster. And as a result, it's also quicker. Well, faster. But I just love the feedback of this. So this is a great feeling. It's a great stone if you just go by feel. As for results, I don't know yet. Well, I do know, but I haven't showed you yet. So it's smooth. and it gets the job done. I'm gonna do the same thing again. This is just because I wanted to maintain them a little bit. I haven't done this in years. On these stones, that is. So you can see quite a bit of the stone comes off. Fairly easy. And then off to the fresh 8000 grit side. And I hope you can see that. That's a lot of metal, especially from an 8000 grit stone. It can't even compare to the, say, Snow White, which is known to be a fast 8000 grit stone. This is just ripping metal off there. I hope you can see that. It's creating a burr like crazy. And we are done already. So I wouldn't expect a mirror finish, and I will tell you why just in a little bit. Like so. Yeah. Clean them up a bit. So yeah. Yeah, just want to try to these are very soft, so I usually don't try to deburr on the stone, but why not? And there we are. So yeah, I'm trying not to give away too much. I'll tell you guys what I think in just a little bit. But let's do a cut test without stropping. Okay. So we have some good spots. We have some not so good spots. It could be the deburring, but let's give it a few runs on the strop just to make sure that we got the burr off, and then we will try again. Yeah. You can see a definite improvement once you get the burr off. So that is the kind of result you can expect of some generic Chinese brand stuff. And for most of you, I think that would be sufficient enough. So, what's my verdict? And the reason why I wanted to make this video in particular. As a guy that has whetstones up my ears, or what you call it, I have loads, and ranging all the way from these guys to expensive natural Japanese stones. So the thing is, and this is just my general impression about Chinese and Japanese whetstones. Chinese brands tend to go for quantity over quality. They want to produce a lot of stones and they want to sell them cheap, because people like me didn't see the value in, you know, spending the same amount as 5 of these to get 1 stone when I can get 5 of these. So that's and Japanese stones, I have more the impression that they go for quality over quantity, and they accept a larger price, but you get a stone that's meant to last a bit longer. So on to the positives. These are dirt cheap. They are easily replaceable. If you drop it, if you lose it, like this one, it's got a nick in it. I have a couple of one that's just in pieces. This guy has, you know, scratches on the side here. I've been using it to dull a few knives just before sharpening. I don't care, because they are so cheap, and that's actually a plus in my eyes, because it doesn't matter, especially when you're new and when you're working on them for the first time. If you destroy it, you know, get a new one, get 2. So you can have 1 spare. They will wear down quite fast. So hey, get 2, but still you're not even close to what a Japanese whetstone costs. It comes to results. You can get good results off of these. You just saw. You can get a great edge on a standard kitchen knife. And when it comes to feedback, well, the lower grit one wasn't too good, but once you get into the higher grit ones, I love them. They are great stones to work on if you're talking about feedback alone. So the negatives. They are the density first. They are very, very light. Now they're full of water though, but they are very light and fragile. They will destroy, and if you look at them hard enough, they will disintegrate on you. They will crack, they will break, you will gouge them, create, you know, caverns in the stone, call them, but they don't take any abuse. But then again, they are so cheap that why should you care? They are soft, and that compared with the density, it means that they wear really fast. We're talking about 2, maybe 3 knives, and you will have to resurface the stone if you want a flat surface to work on. And lastly, it's the grit. 3,000 grits on these stones. Are they 3,000 grits if you compare them to, just say, Japanese whetstones? No, they are not. The 8,000 grit here, I don't know if you saw how fast it removed metal. That cannot compare to an 8,000 grit Japanese whetstone. So, and that and the uneven color coding, I'm not even sure what kind of grit I'm getting when I'm working on these. Just take them as approximate values, like 3,000, 8,000 grit. Okay, this one is a bit coarser than this side, and you have to go from there. Don't expect to get an 8,000 grit stone if you buy an 8,000 grit stone. That's just how it is. It'll still give you a great edge though. So yeah. So who should buy these? I would say that they are okay for, you know, general knives and general knives maintenance. They are great for learning. They are great for making mistakes. And they are just, you know, okay stones if you don't mind a little bit of maintenance, like flattening once in a while. So who shouldn't buy these stones? If you care about grit, if it's important for you that 8,000 grit really is 8,000 grit, or say if you're aiming for a toothy edge and you want to go for 3,000 grit specific or something like that, don't trust these values. So if you're used to Japanese whetstones, that could be a trap you could fall into. If you like hard stones, don't get these guys. They are soft as hell. And of course, single beveled knives and razors, especially razors, because you when you're sharpening razors, you do care about grit, and you want to go finer than 8,000 grit. And that, coupled with the fact that they will dish out and hollow out, it's very hard to get a flat surface. You have to resurface all the time. I would imagine if you have a carbon steel single beveled Japanese knife above, say, a 62 rock wall, you would have to resurface the stone 2 or 3 times during a single sharpening. I'm just guessing, but that's my impression of it. So yeah, there are positives, there are negatives about these. Personally, I enjoy working on them. I have a couple in my cupboard, just to pull them out from time to time, and just to work a little bit on them when I feel like it. So if you don't take them too seriously, they are funny stones to work on. You can get great results on them. If you do take, say, grit rating and that kind of stuff seriously, if you have limited space, you want a stone that lasts, spend the extra money, get a Japanese one. If you want to play around, want to learn, want to be able to make mistakes, get one of these. Just go at it. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I've started rambling on. So I think I'm gonna end the video there. It's great to be back. I enjoy all the comments. I try to answer all of them, at least the serious ones. And yeah, any and all questions you might have. So thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So have a great day.